So this is PatientVille that is showing how the Danish patient is traveling through the Danish healthcare system, supported by smart eHealth solutions. So we have a patient here with a heart condition and he's taken to the ambulance. So let's see what happens in the ambulance.
This is a standard ambulance operating in the North Denmark region, which are using 3 distinct ICT solutions. First of all, as Jan told us, we have a heart patient here, where the paramedics are monitoring the patient and have the ability via this LifePack 12 to send an ECG, this one, an image of this, to the attending cardiologist at the hospital. On basis of this, the attending cardiologist at the hospital has the possibility to engage in a video conference using this device, which is a portable video conference solution, and use this for a video conference call with the paramedics. Meanwhile, all the monitoring data is entered in the electronic ambulance journal, also known as the PPJ. All of this data is sent to the hospital, where the hospital can see what treatment has been performed on the patient, and also know when the patient is arriving at the hospital.
Thank you. And now we proceed to see what's happening in the hospital. So now we see the other end of the communication that is actually coming from the ambulance, that's being transmitted while the ambulance is driving, while the paramedics are working. They arrive at the hospital, and at the hospital they are able to communicate with the ambulance.
Yes. Here we see the communication with the ambulance. We have the ECG data record on the patient. We have a mobile device, so I can check out all the patient data on my smartphone.
We have the screen here where we have an overview of the ambulances. So that's our inbound patients on the way to the emergency department. When the patient arrives at the emergency department, we have a system, it's a logistic overview to optimize the flow in the emergency department. And I can take a nurse and put this to be in charge of this patient. So that's how we optimize logistics at the emergency department.
Now we proceed to the bed ward, where the nurses are communicating with the rest of the healthcare services in Denmark.
Yeah, right. When the patient is admitted on the bed ward, we registered the patient in the system, and in the same minute there goes an advice to the municipality telling them that the patient now is in hospital. There is a report coming in, so the nurses can see what information the municipality is sending to the hospital, so we can take good care of the patient with the right information from the municipality. When the day arrives, when the patient is discharged, we are sending an update report for the municipality, telling them what's the real facts is, what had happened at the hospital, and what is the actual function level for the patients. And now the patient is leaving the hospital.
So let's go to the municipality and see the communication that they are actually performing.
As Anne just told, I received information about the hospital the patient is at, the name of the hospital, the ward, the name of the ward, and at what time the patient has been admitted at the hospital. When the patient is at home, I can communicate with the GP during the system. I can order medicine, and I can ask questions and send them to him.
So now the patient has been discharged from the hospital and is in the consultation with the general practitioner. And they're talking about what has happened at the hospital and what is going to happen in the future on basis of documentation that is accessible by the general physician.
I have the possibility here to take a look upon discharge letters, which shows what has happened in the flow before you came here. And perhaps if that's not enough, I have the possibility to look directly into the hospital EHR. Will you give your agreement doing that?
It's okay. Yes.
There I'm using the eHealth portal, where I have access to the e-journal, to the medicine profile, to the common medicine card, the laboratory answer module, and the laboratory portal. I can see that you are suffering from angina pectoris, and with a click here about patient information, I can give you a link to see a video in your home, and it looks like this. You can look upon this video when you come home.
Yes.
Finally, we talked about a prescription. With one click here, I have the possibility to send a prescription renewal to the pharmacy, and you can go to the pharmacy now.
So now the patient has been issued with a prescription for some medicine, and he can now go to any pharmacy in Denmark, and he's going to the nearest pharmacy here to pick up his prescription.
What can I do for you? What I do at the pharmacy, I take the card and I scan it, and I get access to prescription server, a national database containing the prescriptions for this patient. On this database, I can see that the patient has some blood pressure medicine lying that is available, and I stop using it. So I take hold of the medicine, prescription, and dispense it. In my system, I can see what medicine is the cheapest, similar to one that's been prescribed. And in dialogue with the patient, I find the best medicine that is suited to the best price. If I had selected different types of medicine, my system would automatically check for interactions. So if two or more medicines work together in an appropriate way. The history of the patient's medicine is stored in the system as well, but only locally. If I were to enter a national database with a personal electronic medicine profile, the patient's profile, I'd need the patient's consent to do that. So in this case, it would be this medicine. Yes. There you go.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Now next in line actually is a Swedish patient. She's on holiday and she has lost a prescription, so now she's trying to get the medicine from the pharmacist.
Thank you. We'll try to look you up here in the system. Use your Swedish identifier. Find you in the Swedish national point of contact. We go through that, through the Danish to the Swedish, and look it up. Find you here, and I'd like you to sign that it's okay. The consent that I look up here. Thank you. Then I look up the prescriptions you have, find the right one. Everything will be translated into Danish, and for you in Swedish. So the epSOS has a terminology server on the bottom, so it translates everything from Swedish to Danish, so we can see it and back to Swedish again. I can see everything around the prescription here, the strength, the drug that was prescribed in Sweden, and then I can dispense it and then give it to you.
So now the patient has reached his home. He's been instructed through the municipality, the physiotherapist, to do home exercises. In order to assist him, he has a home exercise program on his computer that will actually show him how to do it and evaluate the results.
Goddag. Her er dagens træning.
So the patient and the physiotherapist have agreed which exercises should be done, how often they should be done, and how they should be done. So now the patient at home is doing the exercises and being monitored by the computer system to see whether or not he performs at all the exercises or whether he's doing it correctly. So now the patient is doing as instructed by the computer program. You can see he's going to do it 5 times as is written on the screen. And when he's finished, his effort will be evaluated by the computer program. If needed, the physiotherapist can establish a video conferencing with the patient in order to correct or in order to alter the exercises if needed. Also in the home we have some home monitoring system. We have the weight and the blood pressure that the patient is able to do self-monitoring at the home. Same system, same setup, sending it to a central database where it can be monitored, in this case by the hospital staff. We can see that the patient is wearing an e-patch. This e-patch is recording the heart activity, the ECG, from the patient on a 24-hour basis. So in this case, the patient is going to wear this e-patch for 24 hours. That doesn't mean he's confined to his home. He's actually free to move around as he pleases. Every time he comes home, the patch will send wirelessly recorded information to this box that will then transmit it to a central server, so it's ready to be evaluated by the healthcare staff. So all these things you've seen here in PatientVille, you might wonder, is it real or is it just hype? I can tell you that the ambulance is implemented and is running real life. So is the ambulance record and the care, the acute care board. All the messaging is implemented. The system at the municipalities and the general practitioner is also fully independent and running nationally. Also at the pharmacy, the epSOS project is of course a project still. And what you've seen in the home, those systems that we show are still in the pilot phase, but some regions have already implemented as a routine home monitoring for COPD patients. So thank you for your attention.